with this whole psychic thing, it freaks a lot of people out, and a lot of people, you get right off the bat, oh, that's just bullshit, And hey, if you want to think it's bullshit, I'm cool with that too. I have no problem with that. Everybody needs to do their own thing. But I always tell everybody, hey, I'm going to tell you something. You can sit there. If I give somebody a reading and I tell them something and they say, oh, no way. I just smile and I say, okay, and I walk away and I'm like, I know for a fact that's going to happen or that has happened, and never fails. They pick up the phone, hey, just wanted to let you know. I don't know.
I do want to say this back to the kid thing too. When we was talking earlier, when I said I know this woman has all these kids and they're off the hook psychic. And of course they've started seeing counts, because she's just trying to do the best she can do. A lot of kids I see are diagnosed all of a sudden with Asperger's or ADHD or something, because the community out there don't want to assume this kid is just psychic. But I'm seeing that a lot. And sometimes, I just want to say sometimes, it's not the case. It's just that they're picking up things and they might be acting a little out of place, or maybe they don't know what they can say and what they can't say because they've been shut down. But I do know that this woman who has all these kids that are mediums, of course they've been diagnosed now according to psychologists.
It's like the one size fits all. Everybody has ADHD.
But
I'm saying your kid doesn't have it. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm ADHD. I'm ADHD off the hook. I do think a lot of psychics are ADHD because we can't hang on to a thought long enough to rationalize it.
Yeah, because
we're busy. We got stuff going on. It's hard to focus.
It is.
So it's like it comes in, I give it and let it go.
But she's absolutely right. All this stuff is coming in, and you know what? We're easily distracted.
Yeah.
I think that we are more easily distracted because we can actually hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hear it. We know what's going on, and anybody that doesn't recognize that they have psychic ability, they can focus.
And you have to learn how to turn it on and off, because you're dealing with things in this realm. Well, stuff's going on, things are moving, there's cars going by out here, and then you're also getting things from, I don't even know what you call it. From whatever energy
dimension
is coming in this way, and you're meeting people, and you're oh no, what am I picking up on stuff? It's really hard.
It is.
And then you're trying to remember what their name is, and I have no idea what.
Yeah,
it's hard.
So
the struggle.
But I tell this woman with these kids though, and I think this is a big thing I want to tell parents out there. If a kid tells you something, ask them to explain themselves. They're not an idiot. This kid probably knows way more than you give them credit.
Yeah.
So if they tell you, say they have an imaginary friend like you did, well, draw me a picture of what they look like. Well, how they dressed. Well, what did they say? What do they say? What do y'all play?
Yeah. That is, common sense advice.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Now that we're sitting here, and that reminds me, when did you ask me to draw Mikey? Because was it closer towards the end?
Yes.
Because he's all, that makes sense.
Why is that?
That's I feel like I'm remembering things now.
Why does that make sense?
Because I feel like the only time that he was ever actually, big was right when he left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She was teeny weeny. She was this little pea on the page, and Mikey was the entire.
Yeah,
wow.
Because
you said he was little.
For most of my memories, he was very small. But now that you say that, I feel like I'm remembering. He was only big when he left.
Isn't that something?
Wow,
like he grew up.
That's really good. Now this woman, once I told her, I said, ask these kids, draw them out. What do they look like? Because these kids are really psychic.
Did she?
Oh yeah, and she had a picture of that thing the kid drew on her security camera out back, paranormal wise, that the kid drew. No lie, that's true. So, and the kid doesn't know what she got on the security camera.
So the security camera picked up a spirit.
A shadow figure, and it's walking across And the kid draws that shape exactly, and it had a particular shape, and it had particular feet.
Really?
Now, even though it was a dark kind of shadow, you could tell it had the same feet as the kid drew and the same shape, and said that it picked him up by the back of the pants.
Oh my gosh.
When he was outside briefly, and he took
That's
off running.
Amazing.
And came in the house, and he was terrified. And I said, "Did you ask him to draw it out?" Well, when he did, me and her about died because she already had picked it up on her camera.
So, maybe that's a really good topic for our next video. What do you do when these spirits are actually interacting with you, and they're touching you, and they're doing these things that you need to take control back, because they shouldn't be allowed to be doing that to you. So, are we in agreement? Is that the next video?
I just can tell you, if your kids are being harmed,
Yes.
if you're being harmed, if you've got bruises, you wake up with 5 bruises on your body you didn't have the night before, or your kid is scratched, no family member would ever do that. Period. Okay? Just so you know that at the end here. So if your kids are suffering like that, nobody would ever make your kid afraid, and it definitely wouldn't scratch them or bruise them up if they were family. Because a lot of people say, "Well, I don't want to get rid of everybody. I don't want to get rid of my family if I do protection." Well, I wasn't talking about your family, because they're not the ones who's causing the issue.
And you're talking about spirit family, like
Yes.
the
Spirit
the
family.
spirit
It's
family
crossed
that
over.
comes, that
Okay.
comes to visit.
Y'all need to make sure I make that clear.
Yeah. So you're talking about the spirit family that
Yes.
Like family members who have passed on.
that
And
yes,
Mm-hmm.
that because I feel like some when they pass, they just go away. That's it. They're done for whatever reason. And some hang around, and they just still want to be a part of their beloved family member's life. And those are the spirits that wouldn't be doing these things. They wouldn't be picking up your child and scaring them,
Mm-mm.
and wouldn't be doing these things. So
And those need to be getting rid of.
yeah,
For sure.
that kind of stuff really needs to be addressed, for sure.
Yeah, and that's how you can protect your kids that way too, and you should. Even if you're one of those muggles, is that what you call them?
Muggles.
Then you need to get someone who at least buys into it, even if you don't. And because you think about your kids being fearful, because they truly are fearful if that stuff's going on.
I feel like this is a good time to edit the video
Yeah.
and do a quick sage with elevator music for $6.99.
Well, we gotta go, but I know we was long on this one. We'll probably cut it down, but we hope you tune in again. It's www.psychicsuptown.com. Bye.
See you next time.